Hi, I'm Val Semix. I've worked on Conan, Lobo, and the Demon, and you're listening to 11 O'Clock Comics.
Getting pretty disgusting now because you're nailing it every time.
Oh, it's like a Steph Curry free throw at this point. It's money every time. There's never.
I just wish he'd screw up like once, maybe twice.
I mean, not for nothing. I thought it was a little thin, but okay, I'll take it. That's fine. That's fine.
He blew our eardrums out. Don't worry, he blew our eardrums out last week when you were because he was.
Oh yeah,
he was excited to be.
I was excited. Yeah. It not only was it Tony,
please
but
be
it was
in there.
also Deathstroke.
He had premature. Yeah.
Yeah, I blew my load early.
What?
I mean, forget about it. I'd have to change the day of my birthday if we had Scotty on this week to talk about Lobo. Forget about it.
Forget about it. Right. This is 11 O'Clock Comics, episode 1026. The numbers increase. It's crazy. One week it's like 10:05. The next week it's 10:25. Like, what's the deal? It seems like crazy.
It's easy for you to say. Like, you're not here every week, though. I mean, if you were here every week, you'd see the numbers tick up. So, but I get it. I get it. It's you blink and you know, oh my God, it's 2 months later. I understand.
Yeah.
You got that Meredith Grey contract now. You show up for a couple episodes at a time, and then you get your full share of the profits. It's nice.
The list, yo, that list. Oh, I love it, and I've meant to be. I do love red lips.
Adorable.
Yeah.
Oh.
Nice. Go ahead.
Did you say you were Vince B? I am David A. Price. Excellent.
That is true. And of course, I am Detective Drew Foster.
No, you're not. You're Jason Wood. Together again.
What it do? What it do?
What it do? Brought to you by cheapgraphicnovels.com. cheapgraphicnovels.com. OGNs, trade paperbacks, Omniboo, DC's finest, Marvel Epic Collection, manga. If you want it, and it's got a retail price, chances are good it does. You will spend way less at cheapgraphicnovels.com. And your library, this could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. Your library will increase volumetrically. That's a big word, but it's true. You think you have enough space? No, you don't. No, you don't. Because the deals are crazy good. In addition to the Nick and Dent special, the March Madness, I think it's called, he also has other specials, Max, as well.
He does. You are so right about the March Madness sale. It's still going on. A couple things we want to highlight this week include Action Before the Ban, Volume 1, the archival collection hardcover for $45. Violent, gritty, and unrelenting, Action Comics was the brainchild of Pat Mills and Jeff Kemp. Tasked with creating a new anthology comic for the IPC's Boys Adventure division, the pair rapidly developed a winning formula, reimagining existing story ideas from fresh perspectives and infusing them with a healthy dose of modern realism. With strips such as Hookjaw, Dredger, Look Out for Lefty, and Blackjack, success was instantaneous, but so was the criticism. Many of the press, including the London Evening Standard, The Sun, and the Daily Mail, were quick to denounce the comic, while Mary Whitehouse and the pressure group Delegates Opposing Violent Education applied pressure on the IPC board to do something about it. In less than a year, Action was pulled from circulation and then returned months later, a sanitized, pale shadow of its former self. But the spark had already been lit. Action had made its mark and became the catalyst for the evolution of the British comics scene, paving the way for 2000 AD and the British invasion of UK talent into America. Collected here are the first 12 issues of Action, containing all of the strips and some of the editorial that created so much infamy back in the 70s. Animan hardcover for $18. I think this is on the way to me. A radioactive mosquito bite as a baby gives Francis the superpower of morphing into any animal at will. Learning to keep his powers secret from an early age, Francis takes up pet therapy as his day job. The perfect cover for his secret identity as Animan. Francis uses his fantastical gift to treat his animal patients, go undercover to solve murders, and battle it out with his nemesis Objecto, a man capable of transforming into any and every possible object. And to top it all off, in his free time, Francis is an avid watercolorist, hey Cliff, who enjoys drawing landscapes and risque portraits of his frog girlfriend, Fabian. Veteran cartoonist Anouk Ricard delivers a fresh take on the superhero genre, imbued with her signature slapstick sensibility, preposterous scenarios, and off-the-wall punchlines. This is translated by Montana Kane. And finally, Flash Rebirth trade paperback DC Compact Comics Edition for $7.99. Barry Allen, The Flash. His birth kick-started the Silver Age, and his heroic death, defending the universe from a cosmic crisis, made him a legend. Now Barry Allen has returned to life, and every hero in the DC universe is overjoyed, except for Barry himself and Vince. But there's a purpose to Barry's return that no one could have guessed, and it has to do with a bizarre murder in a Central City crime lab that seems to recreate the accident that gave Barry his speed powers. Whatever happened to Barry Allen when he escaped from the extra-dimensional energy reserve known as the Speed Force, it changed him in ways he still doesn't understand and may not understand until it's too late. Acclaimed creators Jeff Johns and Shane Van Sciver and Francis Manapul and Scott Collins return Barry Allen to greatness in this compact collection.
A decent price. $7.99 is the I don't balk at that. But speaking of Action, when the hell is DC gonna collect the Action Comics Weekly? Like, never.
Maybe after the. Oh, no, I don't, man. Because it was Action Comics Weekly with like issue 601, but the other three Superman books, they still had the triangle, right? So like, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's not like DC wouldn't publish different volumes covering the same stuff. So I mean that's not unusual. But I would love an Action Comics Weekly just collection. That would be sweet.
And put the chapters chronologically, not the way they're published.
Right, yeah, not issue by issue, but serial by serial.
Black Hawk thing. Cheapgraphicnovels.com. Tip of the hat to Max. He knows why. Thank you.
Nicely done.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well said. Also, it occurs to me, we didn't talk about this before the show, but it is March 19th as we're recording this, which means it is almost time for people to finish putting in their pre-orders wherever they make their pre-orders from. And as of last month, if I recall, you wanted us to try and each give a pre-order recommendation to the folks. So this would be the episode to do that, because next week it'll be past the deadline. So I know we didn't plan this, but if you all have a book that you want to recommend to the folks, now would be the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Talk about on the spot. Yeah.
I'm just trying to follow through with your plan. This was your idea as of last month.
No, you were right. Yeah.
I know.
Well, I'll give. Since I guys put you on the spot, I'll give mine, and I'm going to do a single issue, and then a shelf porn. So The single issue is the return of Concrete. Paul Chadwick is back with Concrete Stars Over Sand #1 through Dark Horse. Mr. Chadwick is back making Concrete, which makes a lot of us, myself included, super duper happy. I will be sopping that up like a delicious biscuit with gravy. So that's your single issue recommendation. And in terms of the shelf porn, something I didn't think we'd ever see, but I'm super glad that it's about to come into existence. Jason Pearson's Body Bags Artist Edition hardcover. And it is exactly what it says. It is a artist edition collection of Pearson's Body Bags miniseries. So it's his art is absolutely beautiful. Always was. He's no longer with us, and I'm going to really enjoy taking a look at his art in its purest form when it arrives in a few months. So there's your
Nice.
2 recommendations from Moi.
Yeah. I too ordered the Concrete in single issue because the name of the artist escapes me, but they're really, really good, except they don't know how to use the gutter. Yeah, when you collect something for a trade or hardcover, you you have to be very wary of the gutter, right? Because as the page increases, and it was only 6 issues. Yeah, I'm talking about JSA. Lemire's artist on JSA does not know how to use the gutter. It's the only thing I could say that would impinge, I guess is the word I'm looking for, his work, because I think the work is beautiful, except he doesn't know how to use the gutter. Lemire, on the other hand, knows full well how to use the gutter. And I'm not. I will not take a chance on some of Lemire Chadwick, some of Chadwick's work being sucked into the gutter. So I'm ordering the single. 'Cause you can spread them flat, right? You can't do that with a hardcover. You try as you might, you can bend the shit out of that hardcover. It's still gonna suck in the gutter part of the visual real estate, right? Where floppy won't do that. So that's my long-winded way of saying, yeah, order Concrete. You'd be a fool not to. You would be.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I mean, I'm planning on doing my order this weekend, which is why I haven't gone through it yet. But noticing it now, Vince, are you getting the Absolute Ronin? Because you can never have too many copies of
You
that.
have it. I'd have it.
Oh, you're we're not we don't double or triple dip anymore.
Not on absolutes, no.
Okay.
No. I also didn't order the God, what was the name of it? The one he recently did. The Ronin, the volume 2. I
The
didn't
book
double
two
dip.
collection.
Yeah,
No, I didn't either.
I didn't double dip on that because I have the singles. That's more than enough for me.
Yeah.
Especially you read one page and you've read the entire thing. So
Right.
yeah, it is frank. It's beautiful, but it's wordy as fuck. But it's the same words every time. So yeah.
You said it. You said it, not me.
Yeah, it could have been done in 3 issues, but they wanted to do it in far more. I don't blame them.
No,
People
of
can
course not.
pay. People will pay for it. I'm drinking. Oh wait, Deb,
Yeah,
do you have a recommendation?
not yet, not yet. I will. I will before
Okay,
we're done.
all right. Because it's a problem because the previews no longer exist,
Right.
It does
and
not.
I don't download the Lunar because they make a point of reproducing stuff that's procured elsewhere, uh, quicker, faster. I guess you could say more efficiently. Uh, I would just open the previews and let's like look at what I ordered and give a recommendation, but I can't do that because previews doesn't exist anymore. So yeah, I'm going with concrete. I'm also going with Charles X Charles Double Trouble Wine Cabernet Sauvignon from 2020, and that is what I'm drinking.
Very nice. Very nice. I am drinking grapefruit seltzer water.
Oh boy!
And
Well,
Vince is.
two
Go
weeks
ahead.
ago he did. He drank 2 weeks ago. I don't
Yeah.
know if he drank last week.
I did not.
Yeah.
No, I did not.
So we check what we can get.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And tonight Vince is keeping the flame alive because I I overdid it and did not eat well today. So I'm just enjoying some water.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Almost never happens.
It's you're
That's
right.
that's new. Yeah, that's new.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's probably
Um,
like maybe the third time I'm drinking water on the show.
wow. Thank you, Double Trouble.
Whew, it's a new era.
And I have to say, as far as weeks go of comics, this one was a barn burner.
Oh, do tell.
Yeah, I had an extreme amount of fun this week.
Oh, I'm looking at your list now. A lot of it is stuff that we either have read for this week or discussed last week as well. Yeah,
Well, which is by design.
I
Nice.
hear you. I hear you.
Yeah, yeah.
What a guy.
I'm gonna get this out of the way real quick because I thought that you probably covered it at least adequately, right?
Okay.
So I will say there was never any doubt that my man Tony Fleece would step up and do Deathstroke proud. But I read Deathstroke #1, and while Carmine D. Geomandiso was art
Good attempt.
yeah, was his art is a little more detailed than I like. There were backgrounds that were like, woo, my man took a long time. I don't care if the digital or physical. Um, he put the work in for the first issue. The relationship between Wintergreen and Deathstroke, unbelievable. Like I I stopped it up. I thought it was a great start. And again, I will say, it's Tony, so big surprise, right? But I had a lot of fun with it, and I think that with IP as old as what I'm going to talk about this week, and I'm sure you'll talk the same books. It's not so much a job of reinventing the wheel. It's presenting these characters in a way that, while they're doing what they normally do, they at least one thing about them stands out as, oh wow, this is different. You know, like the Wade Wilson thing. It's Wade killing. You know,
Yeah.
like it's like every Deadpool book ever, but the thing with the son is different. Um, which I thought the Deathstroke was different as well. Like he's lived a pretty shitty life, but the relationship between he and Wintergreen, I thought was portrayed very, very nicely. Yeah, and I won't say anything else because it comes out today, right?
It
Yesterday.
came out yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yesterday.
I'm really curious to see how people feel about the last few pages of the issue now that it's been out, because we knew about it last week, Jason and I. Obviously, we didn't spoil anything talking about the book, and as Tony's making his way doing his press junket and talking about it with everybody who has a microphone, I'm surprised it has been able to keep quiet for as long as it has. But yeah, and we also found out, Vince, it's pronounced Carmine.
Yeah, Carmen.
Armandate.
Yeah,
Dion Domenico.
And yeah, I mean, you didn't hear the episode, Vince, but yeah, I mean, we were absolutely complimentary about the issue. That it looked great. I'm excited to see where Tony's going with this. I am really curious to see how things work their way through, and what the future holds for Slade. But it looked great, and I mean, it just felt like a popcorn flick. It was just all action and big beautiful images, and yeah, I'm stoked. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to more. I want to see where Tony's going with this.
Well, if you look at the suggested age bracket, the three that were the three that have all eyes on them that were released today are, I believe, they're different. The Deathstroke, I believe, is 15 plus. The Lobos is 15 plus, and the Batwoman, I believe, is 13 plus. So they're not aiming this at the same, roughly. They're not aiming these books at the same audience.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, as far as that, yeah. I mean, they for a long time, DC's books, the main line really hasn't been. They've all been kind of like teen plus. But yeah, you're right. I just noticed that on the covers too. That
I wonder
Yeah.
what one does. Like, what's okay for a 13 versus a 15? Like, what's the appropriateness cutoff in those 2 years? Like, what are you
I
allowed to
don't
see as a
know.
15-year-old that you can't see as a 13-year-old?
Well, the Deathstroke
Titties. What do you got?
Carnage, graphic
pretty
violence.
bloody. Yeah.
I mean, Lobo
Yeah,
and Deathstroke
I mean-
both. I mean, they both kick ass. And while and Batwoman is. I mean, we'll get into it, I'm sure, but it's more of a psychological kind of thriller. There's not a whole lot of
I'm stunned. I'm
yeah, there's-
stunned.
I know from Rucka, really, but yeah, I mean, you're not seeing. Kate's not running around like slicing heads off shoulders or
Right,
in
right.
half. And we don't see that either. So I could see that probably playing a part. But I mean, we're just fucking stupid in America anyway, because you can show titties and you can show violence, but God forbid somebody says the word shit. It's stupid. But yeah,
It's dumb. It's dumb.
From what I
It's
can
one
tell,
thing-
it's the violence.
one of the things I read is about prostitutes, and they say "fuck" in the book, and everything, and there's little to zero nudity, and I'm thinking, so what's the point? Like, yeah, it's drawn beautifully. Well, what is the point of using profanity and not nudity? These women are hookers. They're high priced call girls.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why wouldn't you choose to show nudity? We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Right.
Yeah. But
Well,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I thought Deathstroke was awesome.
Yeah. Agreed.
So we have, like you said, we have this was Deathstroke was one of 3 DC Next Level launches, and as the solicits and as Tony explained last week, the idea behind Next Level is effectively treating characters in the main DCU as though they're creator owned, giving the creative teams behind them carte blanche to do whatever they want within reason. It's an interesting premise. I would argue after reading the first 3 offerings that there's far more restraint and restrictions than that, because all 3 are effectively not new takes on the character. There is a conceit or setting or something that's different, but they are largely the same characters in look, in feel, and powers, and hit right.
Yeah.
Right, but I'm saying, but the solicit material and even Tony made it out to be like, well, this is like we have the freedom to do whatever we want, like you could in Absolute, and I just don't believe that to be true, because I didn't see that level of veering off from the baseline in any of them. So, and I know that if you really did say you guys have carte blanche, there's no way that I can't speak for Greg Rook on that, but there's no way that Scotty and Tony wouldn't have gone further afield than they did, right? So now that's not a condemnation of the quality of these books at all. But what I'm saying is I question the marketing premise behind it. That's all. Like, I don't. These books aren't what they said they were going to be, which is fine as long as they're good, right? But they're not like complete reimaginings of these characters in any way.
No. Like I said, the Lobo is basically the character we've known for years and years,
Mm-hmm.
with one caveat: he is the anti-hero of choice. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
that's
yeah.
it. That's it.
I mean, needless to say, I am desperate to. Well, much like with Deathstroke, I'm really very locked in on what you thought of Lobo Dab, because obviously both. I mean, weirdly, both 2 of the 3 launch characters of this new line are 2 of your favorite DC characters, at least like sort of tertiary characters. So, I mean, my baggage with both characters, but my baggage with Lobo is so much less than yours. I don't have really strong predispositions as to what a Lobo comic should or shouldn't be, right? Versus like we talked about versus with Deadpool, I have strong opinions, right? Like,
Yeah.
like there's a lot of, I'm like, oh, that's not the kind of Deadpool I want to read it, but because I have I don't have that with Lobo. Like, it's more blank slate for me, but obviously that's not the case for you most notably, but I'm sure Vince as well. He's read a lot more Lobo than I have. So, I mean, curious if it passes your initial sniff test or not. Because to my mind, it like, again, to my mind, it felt very familiar. Like, it felt like a take on Lobo that I like. Like it didn't feel different to me. Like, it felt like the Lobo that
Right.
I've seen before.
I will say, and this, this wasn't it. It didn't really. I don't want to say it surprised me. By the time I finished this issue, I got that sense. I got the vibe from Scotty's Rocket Raccoon run, and that's not a bad thing at all. That was a fun series. It wasn't necessarily catering to the 15+ crowd, but it was fun. It was Rocket being crazy, creating shit, doing stupid shit in space, and that's fine. And that can also apply to Lobo to a degree. This first issue, it's hard, and no shade to Cullen Bunn, because unfortunately he just got saddled with it. But it's very hard to screw up Lobo unless you try to make him into an emo goth skinny dude. So for this,
Which they made fun of for at least a panel. They made fun of.
oh yes, oh yeah, absolutely, and shout out to Scotty for those couple double page writing that double page spread for Jorge to draw Lobo's origin, and taking some creative licensing with exaggerating some things that didn't actually happen, but Lobo's a storyteller, so he can do what he wants. But the this I feel this did Keith Giffen proud. It didn't feel any different than the book that Val Semeiks drew. It didn't. It feels like a Lobo book, and which, I mean, that's what I want. Jorge's art looks great. You've got these crazy looking aliens. You've got Lobo looks like a brick shit house. He's supposed to. You got, I mean, you even got like, I don't want to keep using the word vibe, but I mean, I was feeling I was getting a Saga riff towards the end there, but there was Lobo's attitude comes across. I mean, Scotty is a Lobo fan, so it's not like, he had to read he didn't have to go back and read the old Omega Man issues and everything since. Pretty sure he's been reading them since Simon's been drawing the character. So he knows the character's pedigree, he knows the resume. I'm not worried about Lobo in Scotty's hands. This was a lot of fun. I had it just, yeah, I mean, you're meeting Lobo as soon as you open the issue, which is perfect. If you've never read a Lobo book and you just know that this character is going to be in the Supergirl movie in a couple months, then oh, okay, it's a first issue. Let me see what this is all about. Cool. You're going, whether you read this or you read Lobo's back, you're going to get the same vibe from the character, and that's going to be done well. But I mean, you've got Dog here. Everything that makes Lobo is in this issue. So I'm definitely not upset about that at all. Like I said, you also get you get a quick couple pages to do the origin, and Bob's your uncle. There's no heavy lifting here. There's nothing. You're not. It's not a Hickman book. You're not looking for any mysteries here. Everything is on the page.
Right.
This is what you get with a Lobo book. Scotty's a fantastic writer to bring this to. It's a life, I feel. And Jorge just, I mean, the images on the page just look fantastic. I mean, because we've known Jorge for a minute, and I mean, whether he's working with Scotty or working with anybody who isn't Scotty, Jorge's got a unique, distinct kind of style, and this actually is slightly different than what I'm used to seeing from Jorge. It is that it's almost like a mix between Kevin O'Neill and Simon Bisley to a degree. There's just things in
definitely
here
some biz. I feel like he's definitely channeling that for sure.
Yeah,
yep.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
There's a ton of Kevin O'Neill.
Thank you.
For sure.
You're
right. Yep, Tab, you're right.
It looks great. It reads great. They are absolutely. We didn't talk about Batwoman yet, but I mean, yeah. As far as I'm concerned, with Next Level, they're 2 for 2.
I'm not going to hold you. I think that we almost sound like we're burying the lead, because obviously Scotty's our boo, and so we're Scotty centric on this, understandably. But I'm glad you rounded it back, because to me, I mean, Scotty did a great job writing it, and it feels like very much a Scotty book. But in that you can see how his mind works. But god damn, did Jorge put it down in this book? I was like, oh, and again, like you said, he's been a really good artist for a long time. I mean, he's worked with Scotty now on multiple books, Middle West and from there and many since. But man, oh man, did I think this was great. I really did feel like, it was like tremendous effort on his part. I mean, these pages are packed with sight gags. Every bit of the page is telling the story and paying off, whether it's Easter eggs or part of the core sequentials. And I mean, I just thought dude was putting in the work, and almost to the point where you're like, how he can't possibly keep this up on like for a,
No,
I think we're gonna get 3 issues of Jorge and then a fill-in, and then maybe he'll be back in a month or two. But yeah.
Yeah. And he's a
I don't.
from what I remember, but either way, I mean, this was
Yeah.
he gave his best efforts, man. Like to whatever extent, maybe DC readers aren't as familiar with him if they're not, into Scotty's creator and stuff as much. Like, I think a lot of people are gonna be done reading their comics this week and be like, "Who is this Jorge Corona guy?" Because he threw down for sure.
Right. I will say that you do not have to read or have read any Deathstroke or any Lobo to get up to snuff with the characters.
That is true. It is. They are both. I think the test of a number one, and we talk about a lot of number ones for lots of reasons, but you're absolutely right, Vince. I think if you had never heard of these characters before, you could have read both of these issues and understood very much what the character is, what their powers and abilities are, what their personalities like, in their history. And I think that's like the perfect way to execute a number one. And I think where you're going with this is that the third leg of the stool is Batwoman, which and here's where I think your implication is that did not pass this test, and I completely agree. And I think part of the reason that this was an ill-advised part of this new launch. Again, I don't have a problem with them bringing Batwoman back as a comic, but this is Batwoman number one, but also written by Greg Rucka, who created the character and has written the vast majority of her key stories. And again, there's nothing wrong with Greg coming back to the character. I mean, I'm always a fan of the creators coming back to their creations, but to your point, I mean, I fortunately for me, I remember Elegy, the most notable Batwoman story of Greg's original run. So I remembered it pretty well. So I jumped into this remembering all of that. But god damn, if you hadn't read Elegy, I mean, this was an impenetrable number one issue.
There's no way.
No way.
There's no way. He took a step back and said, "I don't care." He had to, because a lot of the issue is just like, wait a minute. I have to go back and reread that because I don't remember that happening. I thought Denny did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, I love Dandy's work. Yeah.
I thought it looked exquisite.
I didn't know she was Greek.
Oh yeah.
If I had to pick, obviously I would go with Lobo as being the best illustrator of the three, but it's a very, very fine line between Lobo and the Batwoman. I think that he did an incredible job, and that's not to slight Carmine, because I think it's not what I'm used to reading, but I recognize there were a couple of figures here and there that were cut and pasted, whatever. It's just too real. It's mostly the backgrounds, the foregrounds.
The backgrounds look computer rendered for sure. A lot
Yeah, not so much, but damn, like 3 DC books command my attention for the week. What the hell is happening? Like, what is going on?
Well, the question is though, but what we're getting back to Batwoman, like, I mean, I guess it sounds like we're generally in agreement that this wasn't the way to approach the first issue. Did you both enjoy it in the context of what it was? Because again, I mean, I know Vince, you're not a huge Rucka fan in the first place, but Dap, I mean, I was fortunate that I could read something and forget that I read it a month later, but like for some reason I remembered LG well enough that I wasn't like, I remembered just Beth was her sister, and I remembered, like, so I'm like, okay, I'm following along, but then I thought, goddamn, like, he doesn't really do any. There's no editor's notes or there's not like there's really no like you're untethered if you don't remember that. Like you're untethered here, and it has to
Right.
read very confusingly, I would think, to people if you don't have that back history.
I will say, not being a huge, super huge Rucka fan, I thought it was great. I too remember 70% of LG,
Yeah.
so that was a problem largely. I think it's very hard to restrain oneself when doing a first issue. You want to hook 'em, the reader, into buying the second issue and the third and the fourth and the fifth. Yeah, I get that. But where I think Rucka was incredibly, showed incredible restraint with the connection to Bruce Wayne is not even mentioned.
Yeah.
What, why? Then it's surprising to me that I enjoyed so much because all of the established connections and the like the were creatures, the wolves are not even mentioned. Like what? Where are we going
I do
with this?
think I think again, like it's sort of, and I'm a little bit guessing here because I don't have clarity from the issue itself, but it seems like this is picking up where Elegy left off, but with some retcon into the current DC universe of Darkseid returning, right? So like instead of the what was it the it was that back in Elegy it was a cult, the cult, I can't think of the name right now, but there was like a blood cult that they were trying to work with, and it was like the books. There were like the books of evil. It seems like they're swapping, or the books they're swapping that all out for this idea that Beth, her sister, was supposed to be the vessel to bring Darkseid back, and that now they're going to try and brainwash Kate into being that vessel because she's an identical twin. So
It's
it does.
okay.
Yeah, but so it seems like they aren't quite like it's not a like it is different. Like it's almost like another reality where a lot of what we remember happened, but for different reasons. And I mean, again, I'm fine with that, but I think again that's asking a lot because then it's asking us to remember Elegy, but then also be acutely aware of everything that's happening in the main DCU right now to be able to realize that they're kind of mashing the two concepts together without any
Yeah,
explanation. And I mean, again, I enjoyed it because I felt like I followed along, but I can't say I think this was a successful first issue. Like, I would be stunned if people that didn't already have deep appreciation for Kate Kane are going to find this issue to be
that's the
such that,
problem.
yeah, that they
Yeah,
want to come
yeah.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a problem where we know that Rucka loves the character to the point where she's real. She's a real person. And I understand. But it's expecting the reader to have the same emotional attachment to the character as the author. And that'll almost never happen.
Yeah.
It's just a fact of life. Where I thought it was it look it read good, it looked phenomenal. Two of the three, I don't know what the third base is, but two of the bases are covered adequately. That's enough for me. Where if I can look at an image, like some of those double page spreads that Denny worked on are incredible.
Yeah.
Like they're just gorgeous, and that I know the thought of having to read another story featuring Darkseid is anathema to me. Like enough with the Darkseid, but the to see Denis Darkseid, I think I put my reservations on hold for a bit just to see Denny draw Darkseid. Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. Why not?
Tap, you've been quiet. What did you think of Batwoman?
Um, I am not the biggest Batwoman fan. Um, which bums me out a little bit because I do like Greg, and I do like his work. It's just something I don't know what it is.
What are you anti-queer all of a sudden?
I guess that must be it. It must be. I hate
Yeah,
gingers.
damn. Thought you were an ally. Shit.
I just my mom's a redhead, so the hell with that. But it's just I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know if there's some disconnect. Like I missed the boat when everybody else was getting into the character, and I was just like, and I'm on the outside looking in, and I'm trying to finally catch up, and it's just it's not connecting. So, I remember we read Batwoman for Book of the Month before we wrapped that up, and it was fine. And I appreciate his work, and I love Danny's work, but this is just a character that just doesn't really light my world on fire. I don't know if it's the stories that she's and what's weird, and Vince is going to like this. The only time I'm really interested in the character is when she's with the question, is when Renee shows up. But it's just it's one of those things where I don't know what it is about this particular version of Batwoman that doesn't speak to me. But I am madly aware of her fans, and I know that there is a massive attraction to the character, especially when written by Greg, especially when illustrated by J.H. Williams. But it's I'm going to have to defer on this one only because I don't have a lot of backstory with the character the way you guys do. But
Right. But by that token, then did you feel lost by reading it? Did you? I mean, that's your great test case. Then, if you didn't remember or hadn't,
it definitely. I mean, it's you're kind of left to, if you have no familiarity with the character beforehand, you're left with filling in a lot of blanks on your own or trying to figure things out. But I read it and I read it straight through, and yeah, it didn't there were things where I was just like, okay, I guess I'm guessing things will be explained later on, but yeah, the way it reads and the way it plays out, where compared to Lobo and Deathstroke, where you are thrown into it, but they're great jumping on points because you don't need everything you need to know about these characters is in this issue. The same can't be said for Batwoman, and that's I'm waiting for the second issue to have legacy numbering on it, because it does feel like it's part of a just longer running arc, and it doesn't it's an odd jumping on point if we're going to call the next level books somewhat of a jumping on, because we've got Firestorm coming up, and I trust Jeff, and I know Jeff's going to, just like Scotty, just like Tony, he's going to make it feel like everything you need to know is going to be in this issue, and then we're going to hit the ground running and go from here. I know Greg can do intro issues. I'm not sure what the meeting was like when DC decided to have Batwoman as part of the next level launch, but I don't know if Greg was like, okay, great, am I going to kind of start over from scratch, or can I just take over from where I was going with it? It's weird. This one does feel like the odd man out, and I don't know if any of the other all-in books or the next level books that are coming are going to feel more like Lobo and Deathstroke, or if we might have one or two that are going to feel like this, where you need to know what came before.
Even if you had a legacy numbering and editor's notes, you'd still be lost because they're changing it so much.
Right? Yeah, that's true too. Yeah,
that
you're right.
I
would say, I mean, listen, I will say that regardless of the, I think, fair critiques we're offering now, the initial issues of this next level are immensely more successful to me than the relaunch of Vertigo. So
Yes.
kudos on that
Yeah,
front.
yeah,
100%.
yeah.
So
Agreed,
yeah.
agreed.
So
This is neither here nor there, but I got to be me. I think the retailing of Renee Montoya to be the new question is literally one of the biggest blunders in the last X amount of years at DC. I think the question will always be Vic Sage.
I don't
And I
disagree
don't
with you.
get, I don't,
No,
you call her what you will, say, she's, the custodian of the crime babble, like, whatever. She's not Vic Sage.
I mean,
And
I
she,
hear
and
you, and I'm not even saying I disagree, but just to be clear, because we're old and time flies, it's been almost 20 years since that happened.
yeah,
okay, 20
yeah.
years. Yeah.
I mean, that's a
And
long time. Like a lot happens in comics in 20 years.
I'm old. I'm busted. We have our favorites, and we stick by them. And Renee Montoya as a question does not work.
I like
It's
it.
it's
I mean,
just
I
it's
like it, but
I like the
I don't have a
look.
problem with it.
I just and I mean I guess I mean if her if her time as a detective for Gotham City came to an end and this was the next step or next progression for the character, I'm fine with that. And I like the idea though with her as the question that she is not just a female version of Vic Sage. She's not a radio or TV personality. She's not trying
Right.
to. So I mean, she's taking the concept or at least the image of the character and doing something different with it. And I really enjoyed the Watchtower mini from last year because she got to play detective. It was a whodunit. It was great.
Yeah.
And that was fun. Whereas Vic is different. He's going after. He's not trying to, even though he's called the question, he's not running around like detecting shit. He's just he wants to get he wants to unearth and put the filthy underbelly on full display and take down
Yeah.
the big wigs. That's the Vic version of the question, and that's great. Renee's version of the question is different than that, and I'm okay with that. If all she was before the question was just a gay detective for Gotham, then yeah, that's got a limited life, and so at least I get that you may not be thrilled that she became the question, but they had to do something with the character. So I'm not. Yes, the question will always be Vic Sage, but I am not put off by a Renee Montoya question.
the same with Maggie Sawyer. Like, okay, she's
So she's gonna be
gay.
a supporting character in a Superman book.
She was designed as a supporting character. Yeah,
In a Batman
like
book, right? But she's actually but Maggie never went beyond that. Renee did. Renee had a following. Renee had people who wanted to see her, who wanted to see more of her, and that's
because they
fine.
didn't do enough with her.
Well,
I'm sure if they spun Maggie Sawyer out into her own series, that she'd be yeah, as popular to use the term as Renee Montoya. Whatever.
a couple things. Number one, you are well on record and have a long history of disliking new versions of characters.
Yeah.
And you hate women, so especially when a new version is a woman, you hate that.
I don't hate women.
But on a more serious note, I think there's, like Dap said, there's two things I really like about her as the question. Number one, she became the question in 52, which I adore that series. And two, I think DC very much I mean, there's so many similar things. DC and Marvel are parallel in so many ways, but one of the things that's always been distinctive about DC, at least getting back to its early history, is this just strong through line of legacy to these characters. And And Vic Sage handed her the mantle. It wasn't just like, oh, we need a new question. Like he very much on his deathbed said, "You are the new question." So like,
Yeah.
it was a real handoff. So it's like, so it's not even like they just are modernizing the idea of the question by making it a woman and a woman who's queer. That it was very much like the actual Vic Sage is saying, "No, you're my successor." And so like, I don't know, like I've always appreciated it. Like it wasn't like it didn't feel just like an editorial, like we need a more modern version of the question. It's like, oh no, this is so, I don't know. I mean, I'm much more into it than I guess you are, but that being said, I mean, I like, to me, her existence is the question. I view her as the question is more interesting than when she was just a hard-nosed female detective, because there's only so much you can do with that in a superhero world. I think there's only so many stories you can tell with human beings just being normal.
You are aware that these are fake stories, right?
And unless
Yeah.
you're Jim and Harvey,
So
you don't really get the spotlight in a Batman corner book. So it's they had to do something with her. Is all I'm saying.
I mean,
But,
she was great in Gotham Central, and I mean, like they've
Yep.
definitely. I mean, that's I mean,
she was. She
yeah.
was. But let's just it's kind of like Scorponok or Megatron. Like, who was the best years the sets ago?
that's interesting.
Yeah. To get back to the three books, I thought Lobo and Deathstroke were the best for different reasons. I think Lobo has the best. Deathstroke has the best story. Lobo has the best art. Not to impinge upon Sakati. He made fun of comics. He made fun of the different versions of Lobo. Like, he did his work. So the margin is razor thin. And I thought the Batwoman was a lot better than I expected.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, I guess for
Yeah.
me, I guess it is all about expectations, because I think Batwoman was a good comic for me, but I think it was. I'm pretty critical of it as accomplishing what it was made out to be.
Oh, what it was, there's shoes ways of looking at this. There's people like us who've been reading comics for 40 plus years, and there's new readers.
Yeah.
As a new reader book, I thought the Batwoman was a horrible first issue. As a person that's been reading comics for a good while, I thought it was really good. So take that, put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Boom.
Yeah.
I do have my I have my solicit picks plural, since Jason opened that door. I have
Wow.
two.
Okay.
I've got an issue and I've got shelf porn. The issue is the return of the Forge. Number 10 comes back with a new arc. And the shelf porn is from, and the Forge is from Image. Written. Speaking of Rucka, written by Greg Rucka
Yeah,
and Eric Troutman,
the Rucka
art
book I'm
by
excited to read. Yeah.
Mike Henderson. There you go. And the shelf porn is from Fantagraphics. It is Lost Marvels hardcover volume 4. Apparently, I'm collecting the Lost Marvel series. Gil Kane Rarities volume 1, Jungle Book, Kazar, Gulliver, and other rediscovered work from the 70s.
Yeah. It's a reason to support Fantagraphics because of, as well as the Lost Marvels, the Atlas library is incredible, which is Marvel as well. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. You're right. Some of those Gil Kane stories haven't been reprinted at all.
Yep.
I want to say, yeah. So, reason enough to buy it.
Boom.
Well, and it's a Gil Kane.
That's my reason to buy it. But yes,
In
you're
case
right.
you want to see a palm in your face. The
With all the fingers
yeah,
sticking out, fucking 3D fingers. I love Gil Kane, man.
yeah,
Don't.
he is good. He's good. He's real good. He is a Kirby that drew well.
Yeah, I mean his master of anatomy is just. I mean it reminds me of what the fuck is that Hogarth's anatomy? But there's just so much like yeah.
Right.
There's something, and the way he'll contort bodies, the way he'll like if he's showing
Yeah.
Green Lantern flying, he's flying towards you, but you'll see his heels over behind his head, like his body is like doing it's like a cat cow move. I love the way he manipulates the human form, and it's just why I still say that I'm absolutely positive that Gil was one of Todd's inspirations, especially when it came to Spider-Man. Because the way Todd would draw Spidey's body in warped positions, it just reminds me of the way Gil would draw it.
Interesting. Interesting. I think Todd is showing this is neither here nor there. With the Todd Smots line, where he's redoing Killer Rock and Joker and Superman, Batman, and blah blah blah. I think he's showing some of his hand that he never intended to be shown. Because I'll be honest with you, I think a lot of them are subpar. I think Todd, as a designer, is far less than we've been led to believe.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. For every the dark side is impeccable, but the for what I've seen so far of the Todd's Mod series, no,
Okay.
no. I think I think he got lucky with a thing, like Stan, right? He got lucky with a thing, and he's going to be known for that thing his entire life. Where in Todd's case, it's adding kibble to characters. Like his overkill is incredibly complex. Is it a well designed character? No. Is it memorable? Yes. So like Jack and drawing. Jack was not Jack would be the first one to tell you he's not the best draftsman, but he had to do X amount of pages every month to feed and support his family. Right? They achieved a level of success that they grew accustomed to, and he wanted to maintain that level. So that's a big reason why Jack drew the way he drew. McFarlane, I think, the, first, I'm going on a completely different tangent. The fact that 350 some issues of Swan, not by the same character, creator, where Eric on Savage Dragon, that's my Age Travels, has been working on the book for 280 issues, all done by Eric Larson. So,
And the 3-issue miniseries before that, but yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
right. Who's got the bigger win? Eric.
Yeah.
I don't give a crap if he wrote like almost 400 issues of Swan. How many did you draw? How many
Yeah.
did you write? Yeah,
The now
that's
I'm
neither
not
here nor there.
I wasn't familiar with Todd's mods, and
Yeah.
I mean, the Killer Croc is okay. I'm not impressed with the Superman at all. But if these weren't made by Todd, if we were walking down New York Comic Con and you saw these as vinyl, would they interest you
No.
then, or is it you
No.
just don't like the
No.
look of them? Okay.
No, they're too small. For
Oh
20
well,
bucks?
no, I'm not worried about that. I'm just saying like the
Well,
sculpt.
and
If,
and the sculpt I think is
super generic.
subpar. Subpar. Yeah, even the dogs think the sculpt is subpar.
It's true. Yeah, you're right. They do.
It's a whole. The kid just walked in the house. We have a new golden retriever puppy on the block that's getting trained, and the dogs are absolutely not pleased about someone encroaching on their territory. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
It's what it is. What it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
Things happen. I used to be incredibly reluctant to include that stuff, but and Deb, I'll agree with you, where I think it's part of life.
Cinema verite, dude.
Yeah, it's part of life.
Sure. Have either of you guys been watching any of The Beauty?
So the first episode.
Yeah, parts of it. I think I made to episode 2. And I forgot that it exists. But when I saw it, I enjoyed.
I was going to say the first season just wrapped up. I mean, the main reason for bringing it up is that, of course, it is based on a comic created by two friends of ours, Jeremy Hahn and Jason Hurley, and it's super cool that it's not all that unusual for our comic creator boos to get their stuff optioned. It is very unusual for that option to turn into a actual show or movie, and it is even more unusual for the show or movie to be successful enough that there's more coming. And from what I understand, the first season was a pretty decent hit, which means we'll get probably at least 2 more seasons, would be my bet.
For him.
Yeah, so I wanted to say, like, it's for those that aren't paying attention. The show is created and again, the IP is Hahn and Hurley, but the showrunner and producer of the show is Ryan Murphy, best known for you longtime listeners used to hear Vince and I talk about American Horror Story quite often. I've always liked Ryan Murphy's aesthetic, like I like he's always been into viscera and horror and body horror. I like the worlds he plays in. I think his ability to deliver on those concepts has been hit or miss. There were some seasons of American Horror Story I thought were fantastic. There were some I thought were just pretty bad and somewhere in between. So I always go into like a Murphy thing, kind of knowing what it's going to look like, but not knowing if I'm going to like it. So once I started watching the show and enjoying the show, I thought, oh, you know what? I don't think I ever finished the comic series. Like, I don't remember why. I don't remember. I remember reading it, and then I'm like, I couldn't remember the ending, and I also couldn't really remember watching the show how different it was from the comic. Like, I remember the early parts of the comic, but I couldn't remember much past that. So I dug them out, and I reread them, and then it all started coming back to me. There were 29 issues of the comic, and then the pandemic got in the way, and they basically never finished the comic until a year or two ago. They put out an oversized final issue. Now I say final. It's now, of course, because the show's a hit. They're going to make more. Jeremy announced they're going to do another arc, but the idea was that they put this issue out a year or two ago to finally finish the series off and put an end cap on it. So I reread I read the entire 30 issue run again, and it's fascinating because I thought the comic was really a very satisfying reread. But I keep saying reread. I was correct in that I had never finished it. I would say I probably, based on, like, as I was rereading it, getting into the, like, oh, I remember this, and then it got to a point where, like, I don't remember this. So I think it looks like I probably read through the first 17 or 18 issues, the first 3 arcs, and then at some point didn't, they were in the Regina and I never went and finished it. Maybe because I had realized that they never actually like finished it because of COVID, and I was like, oh well, they never finished the series. I won't. But the point here is I ended up rereading the first 3 arcs and then the final 2 arcs, and I think the comic on its own stands up and is very interesting. I also think it is fascinating how different the comic is from the show. Like on pretty much every level. Like the only things that are really the same are that there is a disease in the world that makes people into physically perfect looking beings, and that there is a shelf life to those transformations that leads to you dying. That's pretty much like where it begins and ends. like everything else about the show that Murphy's making is different from the comic, which I guess is not like super unusual, but like it definitely was jarring, right? And I would love to know, and I guess we'll see them soon enough at Heroes. What I presume from their social media posts that both Jason and Jeremy are thrilled with all of it, like, and how it's going. So I presume they're like totally on board with the changes. But I know that that's not always the case, because I know that Jeff was pretty like unhappy, not unhappy, but he had to completely distance himself from Sweet Tooth because they changed it so much. So I'm curious to see what they think of the changes and if they're like fully on board with them. But I think a lot of the changes, frankly, are smart on Murphy's part. In the comic, the virus is just sort of like almost like a magic pill. If you sleep with someone that has it, it's sexually transmitted. But then, like, you go to sleep and you wake up beautiful. In the TV show, because Murphy gonna do Murphy, it's pure body horror. You can either be injected with the treatment, or you can have it through sexual transmission. But like when you go through the transmission, it's disgusting. I mean, you convulse, your bones crack, you basically fold up onto yourself, your chest and your mouth burst open with yellow sputum that flies everywhere, your bones crack, and then you basically melt into a puddle of goo. Like a pupa forms around you, and then you gestate for like 8 to 10 hours, and then you have to pull yourself out of this cocoon, this gross looking skin like veiny cocoon, and you come out this perfect being. And I think that like really works. Like that really makes it feel significant in a way that just like waking up beautiful wouldn't feel, right? Where it's like, why wouldn't you do that? But like even with the show, like even the protagonists in the TV show are different. The antagonists are different. Even the name, like there's really nothing other than the conceit of the idea of a virus turning you beautiful. There's nothing similar. But that said, I think both the comic and the show are worthy of one's time, and they feel really like Jason and Jeremy made this story almost a decade ago. I think they started putting this out, and if you think where we are today versus then, it feels so timely because you've got these GLP-1s now where everybody's taking them, and they're working, and from what we can gather, there's no downside, no side effects, and so you've got more and more people, and I suspect eventually hundreds of millions of more people will just take these pills, and these pills will like be skinny. So it's kind of fascinating in that way, because now certainly GLP-1s aside, 10 years ago and now, like the idea of people wanting to look beautiful and doing things to their bodies, including some things which many of us would view as deforming oneself, like whether it be with injections or surgeries, is not new. Like that's not a concept happening for a long time. So they were playing off of that, and it's no less or more poignant today than it was then. But really, really great stuff. 2 thumbs up for the TV show. The fucking finale leaves you on multiple cliffhangers, which is great because it makes you want to come back for more. But it also pisses me off because, I mean, the way TV shows are these days, right? It's probably going to be two and a half years till we get another season. So it's but it was great. I mean, I was literally like, I literally said at the end of the finale, I was like, you motherfuckers, because I was like, what? Like, I gotta wait 2 years for it? Like, what? You're killing me? Like, what? Like, fuck you, Like, really, really fun stuff, man. And yeah, I think it's a fun conceit, and Murphy has fun with it, man. Like it goes wrong in lots of interesting ways. Like in the comic, it's the comic starts with like we're well into the disease existing. Like by this point, like half of the world has it, and it's really become just so commonplace. People are used to it, and now suddenly people are starting to die from it, right? Like that's sort of what ramps up the story. In the TV show, most of the first season, it's pretty much a stealth thing. Like there are random situations of people, beautiful people, exploding, like self-combusting around the world, but like the general populace is unaware that this exists, and it is a man-made thing. Ashton Kutcher is the antagonist on the show. He's an Elon Musk type of. He's one of the wealthiest men in the world as an industrialist, and he and a number of other super wealthy, powerful people, elicit the work of a group of scientists to help create this condition, this drug, which will turn them younger and beautiful, and et cetera, et cetera. And it's all very much like a plan to get rich, and then it goes astray because they don't realize that it's sexually transmitted. And the problem is the pure form, if you're injected, is much more controllable, and you will eventually die if you don't take boosters, but you can manage it. But if you get the sexually transmitted one, you're pretty much just it's like getting a bad hit of drugs. Like you could die. Like it's just you're going to probably die. And so, and needless to say, if you're trying to charge a massive amount of money to people to make them beautiful and perfect, you don't want to also have it out there in the streets where you can just fuck someone and get it, right? So they have like a lot of fun with that. Like there's these B and C stories of people that really want to be beautiful but can't afford the drug, so they do have sex with someone who has it, and like sometimes it goes horribly wrong. Sometimes they like transform into these really disfigured things. And so Murphy goes places with the beauty and the way it manifests in a lot of different ways that the comic never gets into. So so I found the juxtaposition pretty neat to compare the two in real time, and I also think both stand well on their own. They're just very different approaches to the same idea. So I'm a big pro beauty, pro beauty in all of its forms.
That gives me hope. Maybe I'll finish it because for me to forget that something exists 2 episodes in is rare. I'm going to go back and rewatch the entire first season.
Especially now
Nice.
that I know it's wrapped up.
Yeah.
We watched. Well, I mean, we were together when we watched the first episode, and I don't think Renee was feeling it. So I just put it on pause and just never went back to it, figuring it'd be something I'd just watch on my own. So, and it wasn't necessarily on the forefront because I'm not always scrolling through Hulu. But since it's got your thumbs up, Jason, I'll like Vince, I'll go back.
It's got a great cast too. Like
Yes,
Kutcher's
it does.
perfect in that role. Anthony Ramos is one of the. He's like an assassin that works for Kutcher. He's great. I think I'm a fan of Evan Peters, and Vince Evan Peters is pretty much like attached at the hip with Murphy. He was in every season of American Horror Story. He was obviously the star of the what was it, the Ted Bundy? Was it the Ted Bundy one? He was the lead in that, where it was just Murphy flick. So like he's just pretty much like he's attached at the hip to Ryan Murphy stuff, but he's the lead. But then you have like Ashton Kutcher's good looking post beauty, but the pre version of him is Vincent D'Onofrio, which is great. And then like
That's hilarious.
Vincent D'Onofrio's wife is Isabella Rossellini,
Right? Yeah.
all time
Yeah.
beauty, but she's an older woman now. So like again, no, like, but Isabella Rossellini is a heavy set, like wrinkled woman in real life because she's an older, she's a senior citizen now. But like, but those of us that are old enough, like she was an absolute dime in her prime, and like
She was on Ross's Hall Pass.
What's that?
She was on Ross's Hall Pass. He had it laminated and everything, but he took her name off before he could be laminated. And then,
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
but like she plays his wife and she's disgusted at the beauty, and she, and she's like, she's like, I've earned these scars, I've earned these wrinkles, I've earned this cellulite, like this is life, this is proof that I've lived a life, and like, so it's just interesting, and then like, yeah, I just think it's well cast, and it's the beautiful people are like blindingly beautiful, and then it's also a social commentary on commerce, and like the rich can get this like concierge version of it where they escort you into this beautiful room and they give you like, oolong tea and like herbal, like, an herbal massage before you take the treatment, and then like, and then you wake up and you don't ever even see your like your pupa stage, because they give you like, a knockout drug to let you sleep through it, and then they clean all it up before you come to, and you wake up in like this beautiful rose petal bath, and like it's all like very much like, you just wake up beautiful. But then like, then you have these people again that like don't even necessarily know that they're getting it because it's an STD, and then like they go through this horrible process and they're like, what the fuck's happening? So it's just, yeah, I just think, I don't know, it really is thought provoking. I think that Murphy, like I said, I don't think he always hits, but he definitely always hits the visuals. I mean, he knows how to make disgusting things, right? Like and I think he's always been obsessed with this juxtaposition of gorgeous people and doing awful things, and in a lot of ways that's what this idea in the series is about. So yeah, man, I mean, again, it sounds like I'm glad the show, but also point being, it did get me to go back and reread the series, and again, I thought the series was very different. It was very much more of a psychological treatment on the idea of the pursuit of beauty, and it was more of like a straight-laced crime story, and it was really kind of dual plots. There was the detectives, which I introduced myself at the beginning of the show. There's Detective Drew Foster, Detective Kara Vaughn, and they're part of this like beauty task force. And Drew is normal. He doesn't have the Kara his partner has the disease, and you learn over time like how she got it, and like flashbacks, and then and I don't think I'm spoiling this because it happens like very early in the series, but he ends up getting it because his wife his wife has it because she's cheating on him. So it's like a whole thing, like, but it's not so much about the transformation as it is what that means for their lives, and and like they play with that. And then there's a whole nother plot involving two criminals. I guess they're like assassins or like hench people, but they're Timo and Ezra, and they're wronged. I'll be vague, but like they're wronged early in the series, and so a lot of their arc through these 30 issues is they're trying to enact revenge on people, many of which are higher ups involved in the beauty, and really never the twain shall meet. Like those two character sets don't really have much to do with each other, at least for most of the book. So I thought it was just the entire approach to the story was different, and it's kind of neat to. It's just. Can you guys hear me? Hold on.
Yep.
Can you hear me? Oh, yeah. I sorry. I my cord came out. But it's just neat to like. I definitely would love to hear like how much. How much Jason and Jeremy had input into any of this. Like my sense is they probably just got a big check, right? Like and just like stood aside. And my hope is that they're pleased with the outcome because I thought it was pretty neat.
Yeah.
And the new series is published by Ignition Press. It's not from Image.
Oh, right. Yeah, you mean the upcoming, the yet to...
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeremy asked on his socials, like, who should draw it? And I'm like, you. Like, you should draw it.
Seriously.
Yeah. I will say that if there's a nit I have with the comic series is that there is inconsistent art. Because Jeremy draws it at first, but then he doesn't always draw it, and he has different fill-ins. And it's not, I don't mean that like quality of the artist is different, but there's a lot of very different visual approaches. And I don't know, like, again, who am I to say it's not my series, but like if you're going to have different artists, I'd prefer in a creator-owned series you try and have a similar aesthetic at least,
Yeah.
Like, so, yeah, but a minor nit, though. A minor nit.
Yeah. I would never, ever take the treatment.
The Freeman. The what?
The treatment. Even if I could afford it, I would never take it. It's not real. It's fake.
You're right.
Yeah,
Most,
But
no,
there
of
are a
course,
lot of
and that's
people
the,
out there who are just vain as fuck. So
I
well, that's
know.
what I'm saying, right? But there's people that get the you know I'm sure we've talked about this. There's people now that like it used to be, like women of a certain age would get a facelift and you'd see it and be like, oh man, that's messed up. But like now
yeah,
you've got 24-year-old girls who are beautiful taking, packing their mouths with lip filler and getting both, and
It
it's like
makes no sense to me.
no, it doesn't,
it
right?
does
To me
not.
they almost look deformed, but
Yeah,
but in their eyes they look great, like and then
Yeah.
and it's like the definition of beauty changes over time, right? Like there was a time when Twiggy was the world's most famous supermodel, right? And she was like anorexic, and then and then like now, and then you had like these days like BBLs, or it's like I think it is fascinating how our species and how we define conventional beauty has changed pretty dramatically over the years, like and over the centuries, really, right? Like there was a time when like women wore powdered wigs and corsets, and that was you know what I mean? Like it's just like how we define beauty has changed a lot over time.
yep.
Yeah.
I like it all natural, baby. Except for like
Yes.
the shaving the armpits is good by me. I'm good with that. Like, just a little hygiene's not bad, but
I I saw Thunderbolts over the course
Oh,
of the
the film. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
Oh,
It's
what'd you
the
think?
first Marvel movie in a long since Endgame, really, that I thoroughly enjoyed.
Nice. That's great to
It
hear.
gives me yeah, it gives me hope. It was dark as hell. uh, but I think it's a neat way to go because Tony Stark's Avengers were all light and cheerful and flashy and insert word here. And I think calling them the new Avengers, so spoiler, is it gives me hope that the Marvel Cinematic Universe is not dead. Because if you go by the Disney Channel and the movies between Endgame and now, not a whole lot to praise. Vision and Scarlet Witch I thought was great, but Thunderbolts was really really good.
What did you
I'm
think
glad you
of
enjoyed it.
the version of the century?
I thought they did what they could with the character, um, without making him Superman.
Right.
Because uh, the Sentry is pretty much invincible.
Yeah, yeah.
Before Miracle Man, he was supposed to be Miracle Man. Um, I think they did the Sentry proud without dumbing the character down to the point where uh, the this character is either hamstrung because he's so powerful, or incredibly powerful. So we got to give him some kind of Achilles heel. Otherwise, what's the point? You know? Yeah, I thought it was good.
Love it.
I'm just so sick of the Marvel movies. Like, the Red Hulk does not have to be an antagonist. Like, stop. Everything old is new again. It's just whether it's green or red or gray or Hulk puppy like Amadeus. Like, stop. The same thing with Jen Walters. Like, make her feral or make her not feral. You can't have both.
Trying to have their cake and eat it too.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's fair. I mean,
Although I
I
did.
think that
Oh no.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
No. I don't interrupt. Go ahead.
No. I think. I mean, I'm with you. I think I really enjoyed Thunderbolts. I thought the last Captain America movie was an abomination. No pun intended. I thought it was terrible.
Yeah, it was.
I it's always interesting. I think we're at a point where, like, we've almost kind of gone like 360, because at the start of the MCU, like, a lot of us were like, "Oh, it's gonna be crazy to see these characters that we love on screen. We never thought we'd see that," and we had like such wonder from them, and didn't really know or care if like the rest of the world would care. And then obviously it went well beyond any of our fanboy expectations, where like the whole world like really started to care. Like, it was the thing they cared about the most in entertainment. And that was kind of weird, but cool, because it meant we were going to get lots more of it. And then like we hit this crescendo, I think largely because of the pandemic and Iger's, as he admits now, mistake to accelerate the content creation and to put more and more shows out and trying to link everything.
Yeah, I think.
And if you think about like what they pulled off on the films, it is pretty incredible to think that they pulled off interconnecting all of these films for more than a decade in a way that like the vast majority of like American moviegoers were into. Like, they were cool with that. Like, they were cool with to see each one of them. Like, and then again, like, but once you break that chain, it's like we used to say with like comics, like we all used to always got to read every issue. And then once you stop reading every issue, you're like, oh, I actually don't need to read this. Like, I'm okay. Like, I'll be fine. I just don't know what the new like, what's the new good vibes for the MCU? Like, because I think this idea that like Doomsday is going to be $2 billion and like everyone's going to be all back into it is crazy. Like, that's like, a lot of people are just done. They're not interested anymore. Like, it's just not like they had their moment. Now they've come and gone. So it'll be interesting. I mean, I just hope, for me, all I want is that I want the films to be entertaining, because I'm going to go to see them. And then I want them to be financially successful enough that they'll keep making more. Right? Like, that's all I really care about. But like, I'm reasonably nervous. It's like, I don't know that I feel great about them going back to the well. I don't think that was the intention.
Yeah, I saw the trailers for the next Avengers movie, and
Doomsday.
I'm like, so what? Big deal. Captain America's back. Thor's back.
And there's very much a possibility that these are intentionally teasing us. Like, there's a good chance that they all could be back for a very brief period of time. I
assume they will be.
Yeah. Right. So I'm saying it's an interesting take, but to your point, like, but they are building the entire marketing of this around all these people. Even in as much as I assume you guys the Oscars, but like for one of the major awards, they brought out Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans, and Downey was wearing a green tuxedo because he's Doctor Doom now, and it's like, all right, bros, like I don't know, like to your point, but it's probably not dumb, because I think if they brought out David Harbour and
Florence Pugh.
Florence Pugh, like, the whole world would be like, oh, it's the Avengers. They'd be like, oh, it's David Harbour from Stranger Things and Florence Pugh, the cutie from Dune. Like you know what I mean? Like, they wouldn't, like, so I understand, like, I understand why they're doing it commercially, but I don't know. I guess the proof will be in the pudding, right? Like, well, I'm gonna go see it on opening weekend, and I hope I love it.
Yeah.
I don't, beyond that, I don't know.
I think it's fair to say that if you go to see it and you extract enjoyment from it, you're ahead of the curve.
For sure. And it's also interesting to me that this is going to be the introduction of the X-Men into the MCU. And yet the X-Men that we know are in it are old school X-Men, which is fascinating to me, because they also are like legitimately old life. I mean, Patrick Stewart's got to be 80 at this point, right? I mean, Ian McKellen's in his 80s for sure. I mean, Alan Cumming is, better known to the world as I can't wait for my kids to be like, oh, it's the host of The Traitors. He's on the new Marvel. It's just, Rebecca Romaine's in her fifth, and again, that's fine, but like, it's weird that like the X-Men we're gonna meet are the OG X-Men who are like much older chronologically than it's now maybe they have cast new X-Men and like they're intentionally keeping that quiet because that's like that could very well be too, right? Like there's a chance that these are all X-Men from another planet that gets destroyed by Doom. Like we don't know, right? It's all conjecture.
Right.
Book, but
Yeah, they could be
but it
taking
is interesting to me.
Hickman's the end of Hickman's New Avengers run, where that was basically kind of like a DC
Yeah, and they
Crisis
clearly,
version.
right? Because I mean, clearly it seems like they've just basically swapped Doom into the Kang role, right? Like that was
Yeah.
the point. Like Kang, they were building for Kang to be the next big bad, and they were building into the obviously so much of the TV stuff and the COVID stuff was focused on the multiverse, which again was something we were cool with, but was really a problem. For the average fan was like, I don't like now there's 27 million that was hard for them, and so yeah, I think this could be like a lot of these characters get killed off very quickly because they're versions from other planets, and we just see them get subsumed, right? And then it's like we're back on our Earth, and it's the people that are like the Thunderbolts and like the Wakandans and the Fantastic Four, and they have to but even that we know the Fantastic Four are from a different planet, so it's like
Right.
I don't know how they're gonna
So I'm curious because they've been I like the teasers at the end of the credits, and as long as they're worthwhile, they make sense. But or they're not mocking the audience for sitting there like the end of the first Spider-Man movie, or there was or the second Doctor the Multiverse of Madness, where it's just Bruce Campbell talking about being Papa Pizza, but the at this thing at the end of Thunderbolts was, of course, seeing the Fantastic Four's rocket entering our stratosphere, and you've got and the end of the Marvels was Carol waking up in a hospital bed, but it was the Kelsey Grammer beast watching over her.
Right.
So we and we obviously in because in Deadpool Wolverine, they brought in the Chris Evans Johnny Storm. So they've been playing around with the idea of alternate multiple, and Loki's still sitting in his throne, fucking around with the lines of time. So I'm sure he's obviously going to play a part in Doomsday, I'm believing. So I could imagine, that they're probably I could see them bringing in everybody that the actors playing the characters that from the early aughts, just to make way for the new blood, because even if you didn't just have the OG Bryan Singer X-Men, you then have the later versions of First Class and Apocalypse, where you have
exactly
a different version of Psylocke or Storm, I mean there are so many characters that they'll probably bring them all in. Doom will snap his fingers, and then we'll just get like the new blood, because we've already been introduced to the Patriot, thanks to Winter Soldier, Falcon and Winter Soldier. We've got Kamala Khan. We've got we've got Hawkeye with Kate Bishop. So we've got the Young Avengers showing up here and there. So eventually, the old guard is going to have to. I mean, even though the actors are getting older, but if they want these franchises to keep, if they want to continue to tell stories, they're going to have to use younger, newer talent, even if they're using some of the similar code names. But even if they're not, but they've got to. It's the people I see the movies with. They'll be happy to see the faces that they're familiar with, but those of us who want to see the stories continue and just keep evolving, then obviously you can't wheel out a 62-year-old Mark Ruffalo, even though he's basically CGI at this point when the Hulk is on screen. But you're not going to be able to bring out these dudes, no matter how buff they may be, in their 50s and 60s. So it's not, and especially with the time it takes between movies to make them, no one's getting any younger. And we watched the Brand New Day trailer last night, and I mean I love that suit. I'm not trying to think about where a lot of that trailer reminded me of the other, and the less I think about the other, the happier I am. So I'm trying not to think that way.
What do you mean the other? I don't know what that means.
The other was a really crappy Spidey crossover event. Where he evolved. That
was like, I haven't seen the trailer, so I don't know what you're talking
about. Oh, no, okay, yeah. So, but the suit looks more red and blue, traditional. I absolutely love the suit. You see the Punisher. It's a fun trailer. I enjoyed it because he does. You are picking up where the third Spidey movie ended, where he had to have everybody forget that Peter Parker, Spider-Man are the same people, and unfortunately, that also meant that people forgot about who Peter Parker. But I'm looking forward to it, and apparently, I guess their marketing is like some prequel to Doomsday, and I don't know if we need all of that. I just want a Spider-Man movie. So,
right.
Yeah, I'm glad you saw Thunderbolts. I'm glad you dug it, Vince. I do want to. I kind of want to see it again because I haven't seen it since we saw it in the theater. So that's one I wouldn't mind revisiting.
I like Elena a lot.
Yeah,
I like her a lot. Definitely not the same Black Widow that we have, but yeah.
And I know Jason was happy that they killed Taskmaster off almost like 5 minutes into the movie.
Yeah, they did my girl wrong, but what are you gonna do?
They did, yeah.
But I mean, again, like but I don't get because it's like, first of all, it's a woman, not a man. It's like the whole like it's like it's not the same character. I mean, whatever. No. I mean, it was fine, but like I was much more frustrated by the way the fakakta Captain America Sam Wilson movie mistreated my serpent society and basically just made them a bunch of human mercenaries that had a serpent patch on their jumpsuits. I was like, bro, like what the fuck? Like I waited 15 years for you finally to make serpent society, and they're just fucking minions wearing fucking snake patches on their fucking army suits before they get killed, like, or be beaten. It's like, oh my god.
Meanwhile, nobody cares.
Well, I
Jason
care,
does.
Yeah,
bro.
You're the one person that would care.
Yeah, but I think that kept the OA prices down, because if they actually had like full blown Serpent Society characters, then you'd be having trouble getting your OA.
There you go. Yeah,
silver lining.
I would say that Thunderbolts is far and away the best of the post Endgame.
Yeah, I think it started.
I guess now again, it's like, do you count this? Because Spider-Man: Homecoming would be my pick if you count that. Like, I don't know if you count the Spider-Man movies. I assume you do. I love Homecoming. I mean, having those three characters.
Well, no, that was the first one. The Homecoming was the first one. It was Homecoming, Far From Home, then No Way Home.
What's that one called? Oh,
No Way Home is the third one.
Sorry. I mean the last one, the one with all the.
The last one is No Way Home.
No Way
Home. No Way Home is the third one. Far From Home, because the only reason I remember that
Far From Home is because Mysterio. Far From Home is a Mysterio one.
Yes, and the
okay, got
it. The joke when they were making the movies for no one who cares about trivia is that because Holland is a Brit and he's filming a movie that takes place in London, but the movie's called Far From Home because obviously Peter Parker is far from home from Queens, and it was a whole thing that they were trying to do during the press junkets. But yeah, No Way Home is oh yeah, absolutely had to be there. Far From Home is my favorite. No Way Home is my favorite Spider-Man movie, and I do think it's it's an absolute highlight post Endgame.
Yeah.
No. I think it started to go south with Doctor Strange.
Multiverse of Madness?
The first or the second?
The first.
Oh, really? Oh, I don't know about
that.
Really?
Yeah, and as far as Spider-Man movies go, I get that they have to make the characters into other versions of what they were, but I have no great love for the Spider-Man movies. They're okay. Okay, they're okay.
I think the Tom Holland
But
ones are great.
that being said, I haven't liked any Spider-Man movie. So there's that.
Not since
Like
what, the Nicholas Hammond days?
uh, at all, really. It is what it is. Um, I thought the either the first or the second Guardians is the peak of the Marvel U.
Really?
Yeah, uh, Endgame's great. Infinity War's great. How could they not be with that many characters running around?
Hmm.
But it's what it is. It's just that I think the guy who played The Witcher, um,
Henry
Henry
yeah,
Cavill.
Cavill?
yeah,
Henry Cavill.
yeah. I think he's the best looking Superman. Unfortunately, I think he appeared in the crappiest
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was a
Superman
shit script. Yeah.
movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think he looks the part where the other ones,
Fills out the suit beautifully. Yeah.
yeah, it's
And if
even
Christopher
the
Reeve didn't exist, he would be my favorite Superman, at least as
yeah.
far as in a
Yeah, I
suit.
think that's fair. Yeah, but nobody does it like Christopher Reeve.
Nope.
No, and he wasn't super jacked either.
Nope.
He was just an average-looking guy. Yeah, but e-comics. Um, what's fun, Deb? What's reading that's fun?
I well, I was catching up on Blood and Thunder, which has been a wild ride, and there's some there's our heroine is still on the search for this prisoner, and she actually does find the prisoner, but that isn't appearances can be deceiving, and after he broke out in that first issue, he's been on a mission, and she is now aware of this mission, and her whole world is being like blown open because she thought she knew who her parents were, and the chief was like also part of her of raising her, and because he was her dad's partner, and basically to a certain degree everything she knows is a lie, and watching it all play out while she's trailing this prisoner and trying to not necessarily liberate worlds, but help people that aren't that are being oppressed while she's doing it. It's way bigger than the first couple of issues would have led me to believe this series was about. But yeah, it still looks amazing. It of course Benito Cereno is your writer. EJ Sue is your artist. Mosaic is the colorist, and it's she's learning about books because books are basically don't exist anymore on where she's from. So when she comes across people who know about books and want to espouse the goodness of literature and reading, she's got to wrap her head around that, and so again that's just helping her mind widen, which is neat to see, and that she's also not necessarily there's people that she thought she could trust, maybe not so much. So yeah, it Blood and Thunder's still been a lot of fun, and I do believe I was catching up on GI Joe, but I know that that's on Jason's list as well. I do though. I am interested because I've heard that the new Cyclops series is interesting. So I'm thinking about, because the first 2 issues are out, I'm thinking about giving that a shot. Even though I know the X-Men are a bit of a whiff
I was
right
gonna say,
now.
who told you they were interesting? I have to ask the source.
I've seen it online. I've seen it in some of the videos as I've
Oh,
been scrolling. But they're also, but I have to, I will preface it by saying that a lot of the clips, the posts, the shares that I see on the socials are primarily from newer / younger readers. So they don't have
hmm.
the Claremont days to look back on or things like that. So I get it. You know, I'm not I'm tempering my expectations, but it's been a minute since I read anything really with Cyclops beyond the Age of Revelation stuff. So I'm thinking about it, but yeah, it's not. Listen, I've got Lobo and Deathstroke comics to read, so I'm not stressing it if a Cyclops book doesn't knock me on my ass.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. I read the first issue.
Any good?
Mm,
How'd it look? Okay,
yeah, I'm kind of done.
okay, all right. Say less. We're good.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I will say to contribute to our sponsor, cheapgraphicnovels.com. Cheapgraphicnovels.com laughs, haha, at the retail prices, offering you discounts, crazy discounts, on Ocean, straight paperbacks, on Babu, all that stuff. If you want it, you want it fast, you want it neat, you want it cheap, cheapgraphicnovels.com is the place to go.
You got that right.
Yeah, in your trails. Um, I think we have made a not a big deal about the diamond uh, dissolution, and I think that was I don't know. I wouldn't call it a wrong move, but I think the effects of the diamond distribution deal and the people that hurt and the books that were never read or distributed, um, I think it translates into a huge deal for the comic reading population because these books were solicited and then they were canceled and then they were never solicited again. So the only way to get these books is to um, go to a second or third party dealer. And for an image book, it's crazy talk. I am, of course, talking about Savage Dragon, where issue, I believe, 278 and 279 were solicited, but then they were canceled, and then they were never solicited again. And it's like, that, for an image book, it's unheard of to me that that would happen to an image creator. Correct me if I'm wrong, people, but 278 and 279 never received distribution.
Wow.
Yeah, I had to get mine to Lone Star
Wow.
Wow.
because
Wow. Wow.
nobody else. Yeah, nobody else has it. Um, the focus is on the children.
They are the future.
Yeah, they are. The dragon's children. Where Maxine is suing the fuck out of Mickey Mouse for attempted rape. And Mickey Mouse, it just so happens, entered the public domain. around the same time. So Larson wears his political affiliation on his sleeve. You could tell immediately that Larson is a leftist because he makes fun of the Elon Musk. It wasn't not a Nazi salute. It was. He makes fun of ICE, the presidency, the political climate, indigenous people, aliens, meaning people born and raised outside the country. He makes fun of that. I shouldn't say he makes fun of it. He uses it as a storytelling medium, where in 276, we're focusing on the children. So Amy and Walter, the Talkie Tawny version of the Savage Dragon universe, are featured in 277. We get to see Jackson, and Jackson doesn't even know what sex trafficking is. Jackson is so innocent, but he's extremely, extremely powerful. Where he kills people, not knowing that he's gonna do grievous bodily harm to these people by punching them. And in 278, Tyrone takes center stage, and not only Tyrone, but Popeye as well, because Popeye has entered the public domain, and the stories are fairly what you would expect from Larson. If the goal was to showcase how incredibly powerful these children are, then a mission accomplished. Because yeah, they are extremely strong, and they have they're the daddy and their grandma's health factor, where they can come back from being chopped in half. Like it's the whole Wolverine thing. But it's gone beyond superheroics, where it's more of it's more social commentary than it is superheroics. Like, that's there if you want it, and obviously people want it because they keep coming back. But he's using the book as a means to comment on things that he thinks aren't really kosher. And like I said, I've been reading since day one. I never will stop. And if you want to read one of the best superhero books on the stands right now, some of which aren't on the stands at all, and you have to get them through second and third, means. Get Savage Dragon to try. It's still so good, so good. Uh, Nobody does it like Eric Larson. Nobody. And the last page is crazy long. Like 4 pages of letters. Who does that? Yeah, who does that these days? Now that service is
Yeah.
over. Yeah. No, Marvel will print maybe a page. DC No, none.
No.
Um, I like letters pages. I'm
Yep.
on record. They're some of my favorite things, and it's not a letter of glowing praise. You know, it's a real life person writing in, and it's like, dude, shut up. You rambled for 3 pages. Shut up. We get it,
Thank
you
you,
know.
TM Maple.
Yeah. So yeah, long-winded way of saying Savage Dragon's still out there. Still being made by the same person, Eric Larson, and it's still one of the best ways to waste money on toy.
Which issues were these?
Um, 277 to I didn't get 279 yet. 279 falls within the solicited, not solicited banner.
Oh, okay.
So 280 has been solicited at DCBService.com. So there's that. But the archived edition, the trade paperback have been one of them have been canceled and never picked up again. I'm sure they're being published, but they're not solicited through normal means at all. Yeah, crazy.
Okay.
It's absolutely nuts. You'd be totally lost because the only glimpse of a dragon that you get is in a double page splash in every issue. But the majority of the issue focuses on the children. Pegleg Pete.
Oh, wow.
So I guess along with Mickey,
Yeah.
Pete is public domain as well.
Interesting.
Yeah, Maxine is suing the balls off him, and he's just like Mickey's like, tell her to stop. The children are just like, why don't you tell her to stop? You tried to rape her, dude. Like that's not cool.
Fun times.
Yeah, there you go.
Love it. In your travels, I before we started tonight, I did just finish the 11th issue from the first season of Exquisite Corpses, written by Shea Grayson with James Tynion IV, art by Gavin Fullerton, with Michael Walsh, of course, doing the framing, the befores and after, with the whole families watching everything. Fullerton's art is a little different than some of the other artists we've seen doing the town pages, but it's a little cleaner than some of the other artists we've seen. But we are nearing the end of the brackets, and I'm not going to spoil anything. It's this was an issue where some things came to a head. People were people who were thought lost been found, and there seems to be one hell of a face-off / showdown between the two remaining killers. But the old lady seems to have a trick up her sleeve, and I have an idea as to what might happen here. But yeah, it's I know the 12th issue was I think is I don't know if they're taking a break, because I think the 12th issue is in the solicits for books coming out in May, so I think we're taking a month off. We might have a trade coming, but although that's weird, because if I don't know if the 12th issue is the finale of this season. Regardless, anyway, Exquisite Corpses is still it's been a wild ride. I know who I want to see win this tournament, but because I know who I want to see win, it probably means I won't see that happen. But yeah, it's still fun. It as we've said before, it may have lost some steam after the first couple of issues, getting to this point, but this was where it was headed, and now I got to see how this is going to how this all shakes out. But everybody is. I mean, the town is now aware of what's going on. They've realized, I mean, it's the same night. It's only been a couple of hours, but I mean, everybody's realizing that there's fires breaking out, but there's no fire department. The cops aren't here. Who the hell's here to save us? And so people have to kind of make do and come up with their own devices. But yeah, I thought issue 11 was where we needed to go to get us to where we need to be. And yeah, so in your travels from Image Comics and the Corpse Crew, Exquisite Corpses number 11.
Very nice. Very nice. In what is always a welcome thing for me, we got another Mike Mignola little side pocket story outside of the Hellboy universe. This would be Leonide the Vampyr, the House of Yonda, number 1. I talked about Leonide's prior appearance, which was in a one-shot called Miracle at Crow's Head, and then there was a follow-up one-shot the year later, A Christmas for Crows, and now this is a 2-issue little series. So he just pops in and tells these stories about Leonide. They obviously don't get so deep here. It's just one issue at a time, and now 2 issues. But Leonide is a female, a child, a vampire, who, because of her appearance, seemingly is welcomed with open arms to places that she ends up because they mistake her, and then but she is unabashedly and unapologetically evil and carnivorous, and so just a fun little vampire story. I'll know I'm a mark for vampire stories, so Mignola wants to do a vampire story. I'm here for it. Obviously, it's not the first; won't be the last. He's done Baltimore, of course, as well, and Lady Baltimore. But yeah, I just think it's a fun little goth horror fairy tale that he seems to have a penchant for telling little short vignettes for. So I'm here for it. So do check out Leonide the Vampyr, the House of Yonda from Dark Horse.
I thought it was at first. I thought it was kind of slight.
Well, they are. I mean, they're one issue. I mean, they're one. In this case, it's 2. But I mean,
2. Yeah. But there's a lot on which to chew.
Yeah, and I should have mentioned it. The art is by Rachel, or it might be Rochelle. It's Rachle. Arano is the art with of course shocking to everyone, Dave Stewart on colors.
Yeah, big surprise. But the narrative is incredibly unfeathered.
Sure.
And I think that like, did he know about the seed? How did
I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure. But that's cool, right? Because I mean, we're used to vampires being depicted as shapeshifters, but I don't know that we've often, if ever, seen them shapeshift that way. So
right, and I think that the flower emits some kind of mind-controlling substance, because vampires, that's what they do. They cloud your senses, and I have so many questions that aren't answered.
Well, you got one more issue, so maybe you'll
get so I hope. Yeah. But I thought it was wonderful as well. It's a testament to Mignola that he keeps inventing these characters that fill the hole left by Hellboy.
Yeah, and it's just super fun to me that he's having fun. Like he just creates like what he wants to create. He doesn't really sweat it, right? I mean, if it's a a one shot, he does a one shot. If it's a two shot, he does a two shot. If it's a mini series, like he doesn't sweat the small stuff. He has an idea and he puts it out there. And there was that anthology the other month or two ago I talked about where it's like a bunch of little short 3-4 page stories. I just love that he's at a point in his life, and again, it's probably because he's got fat stacks now, so he can do whatever the hell he wants. But like he just creates what he wants. It doesn't really. I feel like he has innate confidence now that there's no commercial slant to it anymore.
Right.
Like it's just
Right.
I make stuff that I find interesting and hopefully find it interesting too, and that's pretty cool.
Right. Exactly. And we hope that you have found this interesting as well, because it's time to say good night. Oh, well. My hand doesn't work. Damn it.
Can we get that made into a t? Can you dust off the T Public shop and create a "My Hand Doesn't Work" shirt?
I can. Yeah, David. I tried to open the soundboard like 5 times, and I could not click on the lights.
You need that like setup that Denzel had in the Alex Delaware movie. You can just voice command everything.
Thank God for the keyboard, because a lot of my file doings are done with the keyboard, not the mouse.
How do you log into Chatterbait now? Must be hard. Voice command that too.
David. Oh, love it.
There you go.
Nice.
We love you so much.
So much.
Next
back.
week, as was alluded to, we have guests, or we have either one or two guests. We'll
Yes.
see if it's one or two. So
I have questions, so it'll be fun.
yes, I believe our first non-inner circle guest of the year.
Yes.
Yep.
That's it for that one.